Okay, hello everyone. Sorry for the slight hiatus, I suppose you'd say, between this and the previous couple of episodes that I've played through. Today should be the last Blood Curse stream for this playthrough, and then I can put the finishing touches on my script for this video, and I can record the last bits that I haven't yet recorded this week, which will be fun and exciting. I'm looking forward to doing that. I hope everyone's been doing well. I was planning to jump back into this earlier, but I've been quite sick recently, and despite my brain telling me to go out and do the stuff, my body is telling me no. But nonetheless, here we are. We're back. We're going to jump back into the nest and play through the last 3 missions of Siren Blood Curse. I hope everyone enjoys. Hope everyone's doing well. So sit back, relax. Let's have some fun with it. Let's start the chapter from the beginning. I don't think we really did anything though. So yeah, at this point we've got Bella, and we just need to sneak her in. We've got to protect her because there's no one else left to look after her. Yeah, I don't think we've done anything, to be honest. Okay, let's have a look-see. Do we have a weapon? I don't know if we do. I think I can, yeah. I can have this pipe here. So yeah, this is yet another escort mission with Bella, and as we already know from my playthrough, those don't always go so well. But we'll see. We'll see how we do. He's gonna get back up in a minute probably, but that's alright. Okay. So we got the pipe. Do the classic face plant. Is she gonna follow that way, or is... Yep. Every time. Every time. Alright. Can I smash this open with the pipe, or do I need the axe? No, I can use this. The fly should be to his back, I think. It's hard to... It's right. Oh. Yeah, let's go inside. They got a gun, let's go inside. Okay, checkpoint, cool. Problem solved. So yeah. This is, this remains like a pretty well-made horror game, all things considered. I do like how tangible everything still feels. There's a lot to enjoy about the game's presentation, that you can sort of feel like this is kind of a historical document. Can I... Okay, we'll take you some other way then. Yeah, it's the film grain that really does it, sort of the visual filters, but it does also make the game look quite ugly. Particularly the sight-jacking stuff, as we've already seen. Okay, can you... Yeah, no, it's not great. You can go through. Then I'll come back down this way. I think as long as I'm quick enough to the other side, she won't get eaten by anyone. Oops. All captured. Trying. I know there are a bunch of your spider Shibito around here. Obviously you can probably hear the heartbeat. I'm right crazy here.
Finally, let's go.
I love how it's just like, this is all easy stuff now. I don't really care. Okay, yeah. Here it is there. Slightly awkward camera angle. Cool. Okay. So... yeah, now what we have to do, lure the spider shibita to the abandoned house. So there's a little house just there, and we've got to bring 2 of the spider shibita inside and then kill them and then shut the door. So we'll see how we can do with that. I probably should have told her to wait, just wait there. Okay, so if I go in here, I seem to recall there's, you can run into a little object that'll make some noise, and now they'll come in, and now we just gotta beat them both to death and then shut the door on them so they don't get up. But it looks like one saw Bella. Which was not good.
Don't know what to do.
Hello, Blue Voices. Good to see you. No idea what's happening. Just happy to be here. Happy to have you here. Yeah, I don't know if you've caught up on any of the nonsense that was happening in this game so far, but there's been a lot of escort missions, people falling flat on their face, and so on. Apparently, we're escorting Bella around, who's this little kid, into the middle of monster-infested territory. I have no idea where she's going or what she's doing. What is she doing? Where is she? What is happening? When I said come on, I didn't mean... oh. Too many VODs to catch up on? That's not the worst problem to have, right? This isn't going very well. Happy to have actually produced something that people need to actually catch up on. Feels like it's been, yeah, feels like it's been a while. Just sort of trying to find my rhythm again is really the main thing. Finding things to look forward to and engage with. And just doing it when I have time. Is it because she can't jump up here? Where else can I have you hide? Can you hide? Can you hide around the back? Yeah, wait there. And then I'll just try and lure him inside again. Yeah, take him a minute to get back up, won't it? But yeah, I am finding that the strategy of me... it's working for me, I don't know if it's working for anyone else. But the strategy of just, you know, streaming whenever I have the time, rather than trying to mentally budget, you know, streaming time in the schedule. I know it's probably worse for literally everyone else, but it sort of feels like it's all I got in the tank at the moment. I don't like the feeling of having a scheduled stream and then not being able to actually do it. So hopefully this approach works, at least for like a little while. Would love to actually have reliable stream times again, but I don't know how much I can promise that until like October. So probably still for the next month or so. It's just gonna be me hopping on whenever I can, which I have been enjoying with this game in particular because it's a very good sort of pick up and play horror game. As you can see, currently not very scary, just exercise and trial and error, but not as much trial and error as in the first game. Cool. Okay, so sealed them in there. And we can go this way. Yeah, that took longer than was necessary. Hello, Alexander Kun. How's it going? See, we've got to look out for the sniper shibito, and we're going to knock out that brain, which should be on the top left here. I'm going to try and avoid getting seen. So turn this lever. So I do like, yeah, the use of environmental cues and objects to sort of set up stealth. I think it's quite clever. I think, yeah. I'm alright, thanks for asking. It's been a very busy couple of months, so I've really been trying to take time to myself. Sort of get myself back on my feet, really, is the main thing. Look after myself, which is why you haven't seen me around very much, probably. But I am trying my best. Okay, so pull Bella up. Where is she? But yep, making an effort to make some stuff again now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Where's that coming from?
Let's move. We gotta hurry.
So the trick is, yeah, with that mission you have to sneak up on that shibito brain, otherwise it flies away and alerts all the other shibito and you just inevitably get gunned down. Okay. Alright. She's just playing a piano for no real reason.
Now the gates of paradise shall open.
Good music though, I suppose, so I can't complain.
Miyako!
Daddy!
No! I'm too late! This is exactly as the prophecy said!
Daddy!
No, Bella! Stay back! It's too dangerous!
Daddy!
Hey! Wait!
Silent Hill vibes, directed by the same guy who made the first one, so it makes sense.
Bella! We gotta run! Get away from us!
No, this isn't how it's supposed to be.
Cool, so I love these
Gone.
completely artificial cuts here. And I talked about this kind of thing in the last few episodes, and I'm going to talk about it in the video essay I've got written. But yeah, the game's Americanized television presentation is certainly a choice, and they did it all deliberately, and they did it all really well. Like, they knocked that kind of thing out of the park, but it didn't make the game. It makes the game worse than the previous ones, but they deliberately made it worse. So like, it just sort of throws so many questions for me, which is why I would really like to make this video, because I have been wondering, like, why would they hamstring themselves like that? So going back to the archive for a minute, we've got this sacred text. I think a new page has been added from last time. So we had the sacred ceremony was held, where Miyako, the girl who was just burned, and Howard has come to take her away. They don't make these anymore. Golden Age of Horrors is best. It's certainly, it's interesting looking at sort of the evolution of video game horror, I think. And really, like, a lot of the good stuff about this game was afforded by its budget. You know, it was made by a team inside Sony, and all of this like extra detail and depth was sort of added only because of the budget, I presume, and the large team that was actually able to make it. And we don't have very many big budget horrors being made. It's sort of the torch is being carried mostly by little indie developers, but yeah, it's even creepier with bad graphics. Now everything is fancy. I guess, the few big budget ones that are being made, it's harder to see the visual appeal. Like, I agree with you. I don't know if... It's not that I don't like the the level of polish that they put into the graphics. But yeah, there's definitely something aesthetically appealing and haunting about this use of like older technology, older methodologies, older graphical styles. I think they cue us in to a lot of things on like a subconscious level, which is why indie horror games use them a lot, right? Not only is it cheaper to make, but it also taps into these like old feelings. And if something is like new, it may be, it may still be scary, but if it looks kind of pretty, it might be harder to find the fear factor in that. But the moment your imagination starts filling in the blanks, I think that's one of the most cited reasons. The moment your imagination starts filling in the blanks, then you start getting people being like, whoa, this is actually really creepy. And yeah, it would be nice if there were big budget weird horror games being made, but there's not really very much of that at the moment. It's really the little indie studios and indie developers, one person teams. That's really what's most interesting these days at the moment. And I really do need to make more videos on those kinds of games. Fear of what we don't understand. Yeah, exactly. Even just the more I study games and the more I think about horror games, because obviously that's my thing, is the more that I come to appreciate every single little design decision or visual decision, even if it's like a subconscious thing, even if the developers didn't intend for it to happen, even if it's bad, it still makes the game what it is, makes the experience what it is. And yeah, without these like ugly filters like slapped on top of this game in particular, you wouldn't have the same feeling. It's really fascinating to consider, I think, all of the different facets of a game's design, and actually how motifs in this series, like motifs are like reused, because this Blood Curse was a remake of the first Forbidden Siren in a sense, in a loose sense, I suppose, but reusing not only motifs from that game but from the genre itself. I think studying games as genre is quite, I guess, like dangerous, because then you start to like put things together in, I don't know, maybe negative ways. You start to like box things in, but it can also be really valuable recognizing like motifs from the genre and like when to use them or when to subvert them. And I think the longer that you study games, or the longer that you examine or even just play games, the more you sort of come to recognize that, and sort of the, at first, maybe invisible effect that they're having on your emotions, but the longer that you engage with the stuff, the more that you're actually being pulled into it, and the more that you're coming to understand, oh, okay, they did this because they want me to feel this way. And I think, that's what interests me so much about writing video essay scripts in the first place. I mean, even if no one was watching them, they're really a way for me to figure out, like, how did a game make me feel the way it did, and where am I actually coming into this? How has this game aged, or what does this game feel like, or all these really interesting questions. Thank you for indulging all of my tangents and ramblings. No, thank you. So we have the siren going off. Red water flooded the land. Shibito rose up. Howard gets set on fire. Yeah, and then the last one here. The true ceremony was held. The fruit was offered, and the savior awoke. So the thing that we just saw, that was in this game, that was Kaiko, who's this huge insect god, and he's risen, or they've risen, and are just here to sort of convert all of their followers, which are all these monsters, the Shibito we've been fighting, into sort of higher, what Kaiko sees as like higher forms of being. So they're this sort of abstract, like eldritch abomination. And when I say abstract, like when I get to the final boss today, I hope everyone has got like their sunglasses on or something, because it's a trippy fight. It's one of the weirdest I've ever seen, but a fascinating environment. I'm just debating if there's anything else. Yeah, so worth showing before we do the final episode. It's got the Ouroboros, powerful symbol for the Mana religion, painted on the sacred scroll. Usually depicted as a snake or dragon biting its own tail, forming a circle, and represents cyclicality and the concept of infinity. The name Ouroboros itself means one who devours his own tail. The beginning and the end are as one with the symbol. The snake destroys itself and renews itself in the same action, giving birth to itself, an endless cycle of creation and annihilation. The Ouroboros will exist forever as it continues this process of self-renewal. So this is one of the game's most important symbols, the Ouroboros, because at the turning point, the loop resets itself, and we play through those missions again, as we saw in the last stream that I did of this game. So we were playing through older scenarios with different characters again. But this scroll, this concept, has a lot of significance for the series as a whole, and it's something I do talk about in the script as well, but also worth considering as we go into the final mission. And I won't show any of these off just yet. There's one thing I'd like to show off right at the end that I think is very cool. Yeah, we've got the Mana Cross brooch, which is for the Mana religion, which worships Kaiko in this game. And in the original game, it worships something a bit different, a bit cooler if you ask me. But yeah, all right, we might as well finish. Let's do it.
Change can sometimes be for the better.
Be gone.
I'm afraid you can't get rid of me that easily.
So it was you who stole the fruit.
It was only a small piece.
Okay, final episode. We've got one mission as Sam, and the final mission is Howard, I believe.
Hey, wake up. Where's Bella? Hey! Damn it. What's your name? Howard Wright. My name's Sam Monroe. If you see my Bella again, please make sure she's okay.
Wait, you're Sam Monroe? So you're the one who sent me the message.
I don't know what you're talking about. Bella? Bella?
Cool. So yeah, that's one of the sort of the game's final subtle little plot twists. Is Sam sent a message to Howard to get this whole thing started, basically. And Melissa has transformed into a maggot Shibito, so the objective of this level is to not get killed immediately like that, which is just fabulous. Okay, let's try that again. Skip. Okay, nice. Okay, so she's transformed, but we're gonna try get out of here. I can't remember if, yes, there is a wrench. We really just got to get to the top of this area as quick as possible, but she can and will follow me. And I think if she catches me, yeah, it's pretty instantaneous. It's really hard to navigate this area. Okay, let's try and unlock this. Go, 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 go. Okay, hit the checkpoint, that's good. I really can speed through this game if you know what you're doing. The episodes aren't that long. It's really just, yeah, figuring out what to do and not getting lost along the way. This is the Siren game I'm best at. The other Siren games I get worse at if you go further back. So the first one's really hard. I'm really bad at it. The second one I'm okay at, and this one I like to think I'm pretty decent at. I've been making pretty good time. But yeah, the first one is really brutal, but I would definitely like to play it at some stage. Okay, so this bit's kind of iffy. So we have to throw these big antenna at her. And yeah, he's not the best throw, to be perfectly honest. It doesn't really always go where you want it to, but I guess that worked. Oh dear. Nope, missed. Nope, wrong way. So we just gotta keep on moving. The last bit of this mission is arguably the hardest bit of the game, or it was for me when I first played it. We'll see if it remains that way, but it's basically, yeah, like it turns into Left 4 Dead or something. You gotta like defeat lots of enemies that just swarm your position. The game hasn't really functioned like that up until this point, so it was kind of a surprise for me when it did happen. Oh, that was bad. I think I gotta hit it with like 3. I've only hit it with like 1. Oh. Not looking good for me here. Okay, yep. Now can I drop down? There's gotta be another one. Where are the other ones? You can just see just how much visual noise there is on the screen. During stressful moments like this, it's really difficult to actually play the game with any degree of certainty or skill. It's just kind of crazy. I don't know how decipherable this is at all. It probably looks awful. Just, yeah, so much going on here. Now, I swear there's one more lot of antennas. Unless surely I didn't use them all. Did I use them all? No, look, there's, I guess, a couple of respawn there for me because the game is taking pity on me. Can I... There's got to be a way to get back up there. How do I get back up there? Up these barrels, right? And up here. It's like, it's effective to see yourself from the enemy's gaze. But I think this game like overdoes that idea, which was present in the first game. Sometimes it could become too disorienting. Other times in previous missions I think it works well. Maybe just in the Shibito nest where everything is already really dark and noisy anyway. It just sort of becomes too hard to distinguish anything. Are you serious? How did that miss? How did that miss? Okay, that was just unfair. I think that went like through her arm or something. Okay, come back. Okay. Maybe, no, it is 3. Cool, I did remember correctly. Just 3. Okay, yeah, so now we have to protect Bella in a shooting sequence. This might take me a few tries. I did get really frustrated with this at one stage. Okay, they sort of come from everywhere. And Soul has turned into one of them. Let's try and blast them all. Maybe this is going to go well for me this time. I don't know. There are definitely like a lot of them. And yeah, they just keep coming. Once they get up there, I don't know if there's anything I can do. You can see, yeah, it's an unusually, unnecessarily stressful sequence. All of a sudden you need pinpoint accuracy, and it just transforms, yeah, into a first-person shooter. And yeah, you can see that once they actually start attacking you, it can also become quite hard to extricate yourself from the situation. Oh, no. I think part of the problem is it doesn't properly signal where Bella is actually gone. Like, she's up there, right? Okay, cool. That wasn't too bad. Sometimes, like, the AI is either really good in that sequence or really bad. You can see I just got super unlucky the first time, but super lucky that time.
Mommy?
You can see, yeah, reality itself is kind of non-existent at this stage.
To you that we'd get out of here together.
全部消してこの村もあいつらも全部
Miyako?
Okay, last mission. So we're now in Inferno, where we have to defeat Kaiko. So this is actually, we've got to defeat two bosses in this chapter, actually. It says defeat Kaiko, but we've got to defeat my favorite character first, who wants to test us to see if we're the hero. And I do wish the emulator wouldn't cut the cutscenes off like as it does, but that's alright. So I love the setting, the sort of total unreality of it. We've fallen through a blood red pool into Inferno, which is this world that sort of is like a sick parody of ours, with these ancient, like, dilapidated buildings, and just, yeah, this sort of bizarre colours, haunting skyline. It's really an effective way to end the game. I can't remember how many bullets it takes, but he does a lot of damage to me, so it's best just to, like, run around and try and snipe him, I think, is the best way to do it. This is the kind of thing, like, in horror games, it reminds me of Silent Hill 2, where you have to fight the one human enemy in that game. It's always kind of awkward when you're sort of riddling them with bullets. It makes sense to riddle a monster with bullets because you don't really know how that works, but yeah, the moment you're shooting another character, the design of it sort of becomes quite artificial, but I suppose, you know, he's shooting me just as much, so, and so with a Shibito before with guns, so the design itself is slightly, you know, artificial, and I guess in this game you could justify it by saying the red water, right, is sort of a part of all of them, so they have sort of superhuman healing factor. Where is he? Ah! Got him. Got his first round anyway. So now he's gonna go for the sacred sword, and I'm just gonna try and run away. Because I don't have a sword, I just got a rifle. Just gonna let him get confused. But yeah, I do like the shift here from explicitly monstrous enemies to just one human enemy. I think it's a really effective encounter. If it weren't for the fact that, yeah, they'd set up an eldritch god as needing to be slain. This kind of sort of cat and mouse gameplay in these weird ruins in this awful place, I think works, yeah, really, really well. Come on. Headshot and he's still coming. Love the way he like starts to run towards me. Okay, so this is a fair warning. If you do have, yeah, like sensitivity to light, the bit after this, it's like seriously confronting. So, wait, whoa, no, get up. I didn't absorb the controls. Hang on. What was the other one? Could I... Is he gonna come and get me? Or... Okay, got him.
There. With that, my part in this is finished.
There goes the best character this game has.
Yuki.
Alright. Yep, final boss time. If you have a sensitivity to light, do be aware that this is incredibly difficult to look at.
You were the one who stole the fruit.
Oh Lord, I offer up myself in place of the stolen fruit.
There's his true form, I think. Kaiko. And so begins the very end of Siren Blood Curse in this inexplicable arena. I mean, it's like you're fighting inside of a kaleidoscope. I don't know how they come up with the concept, but it's really just quite something. Okay, so we've got Homurangi, the sword, and Urien. Yeah, this is it's something else, like, altogether. Where is he? It's just absolute shit show of like colors and perspectives. I don't even like. How do you begin to design this, let alone describe it? Oh. I think I just got to keep blasting him with this. I think the more I hit him. Find the vessel. Over here. Cool, so inexplicably we now have yet super powerful sword. None of this makes like very much sense if you don't read any of the archives or if you haven't played the first game. I have no idea what people must have thought playing this one like before playing the first game. But most people did because the first game is so hard. L1 and R1. They do the same thing, don't they? Yeah, okay. This soundtrack is really great, but so begins, yeah, the actual final conflict here. But it's a great final boss track, I think. But good luck figuring out what's going on. Just a what a mess. So yeah, I gotta summon basically I think the pillar of fire and then hit through the pillar to cause the sword's mystic energy to unleash. So you can see there's actually the real one is over here. But I was locked in that animation for too long. Where is he? Behind me? I know it's not the real form, hang on. He's hard to hit. So yeah, it's like I've got to play... play from this perspective. On the little screen on the right. The screen on the left almost doesn't matter in a way. What is happening? Okay. Get him here. Hopefully it's within range. Yep. Cool. Next phase. Yeah, like it's weirdly beautiful but hard to look at, which I'm sure was the intent. But yeah, you are just fighting inside like an insect kaleidoscope. And none of the previous parts of the game really would sort of indicate this is how it would end. It's just so different. Yeah, I do think I prefer the original game much more, and I would love to make another video on the first one and I think talk about some of the ideas that I didn't do justice. But these are very special games. They really are. There's a lot to like about them. And yeah, that's the end of... That was the last playable segment of Siren Blood Curse, so we're just gonna let the ending play through.
Oh God, no! This can't be!
Some really cool visuals here.
The alpha of all things is about to be born. Circle sealed. An offering to all worlds.
everything must be repeated. So that Bella can exist forever. Howard. That was his name.
This is my promise to Miyako.
What an ending. It certainly is. I can't imagine what this must be like having, like, no context at all either. So yeah, that probably did seem like a complete jumbled mess of an ending. Let's see. Total playtime. That's pretty good. Yeah. 5 hours. So I got through 2 levels with complete stealth, so not being seen. 4 levels without any sight jacking, 6 levels without taking any damage, and 4 levels without killing anyone. 200 enemies defeated, 183 times seen, only 10 deaths, that's pretty good. 5 NPC deaths, I think all of those were Bella. Ran for a little bit, 13,000 meters, knocked down 6 times, and 76 of my kills were 1-hit kills. Okay, cool. Result by chapter. It's always really satisfying when horror games have this for some reason. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, could have got through that with no kills technically. But yeah, all of a sudden now you can challenge yourself to speed runs, beat my records. I'm sure I could have got some of this stuff done faster. I probably just stopped to like ramble about something. No, it's so the ending like must have seemed like complete nonsense. Essentially, Amana, who's the crazy cult leader, the lady with the blonde hair, that's the grown-up child. At some point, the child, in one version of the loop, eats the flesh of Kaiko and sort of becomes possessed. Goes crazy and also becomes, I think, functionally sort of immortal or timeless. And her father, Sam, gets shunted sort of back into the past where there's been this huge landslide, which is what obscured the village in the first place. And he knows that in the future he has to summon. He's got to summon Howard there to sort of fulfill this loop, which will allow Bella to exist in perpetuity. So she will live forever within this crazy hellscape time loop, and that was basically his goal. And then at the end as well, Howard also uses all of those artifacts to destroy the village of Hanuda and kill all the Shibito inside, but it's implied that that's like kind of a futile action, that the loop will always sort of end with the destruction of Hanuda, but then it will start again, which is why the symbol of the Ouroboros is so integral to this game. I think it's an interesting game, and I've tried to unpick it as best I can, using sort of my understanding of game design and its themes within the script that I've written. And there's a little bit more I have to write now, I think, having played through it one more time. But yeah, there's actually a lot to like about it. Like, it's sort of weird and cheesy as it is, it's still quite an affecting game, I think. And the horror present within, while it certainly doesn't hold a candle to the first two, they still put just a tremendous amount of effort in, like so much detail. So I'm going to go through a couple of these archive items before I finish, before I put a cap on the streamed playthrough of Blood Curse. So we've got, the Sacred Revelations one more time. So we'll just go through page 6, the outsiders suffered, into a great void they fell. Page 7, a little girl lost in time. So it's implied that Bella sort of crash lands somewhere in the past and then grows up to become Amana. And the game actually gives us this, gives us a clue about this really, really early on, and it's within the archive. So again, the archives are such an integral part of the game's storytelling method, but you can see here that if you have a look at this diary, quite weather beaten, it's actually the same as Bella Monroe's diary, so it's kind of hard to make out perhaps, but the details are there, the same font. Goth Girl's secret diary, sort of faded there up the top. It's incredibly weather beaten, aged tome. Was initially this personal diary, so we can have a look at that. Ever since Grams went to heaven, I've learned that Daddy's not a very good cook. He tried to make a special meatloaf tonight, but he baked it too long and it was all dry and gross. I'm going to hide the recipe so he can't cook that again. The other day, Daddy brought home an organizer for me to use, but it was way too uncool, so I gave it back. He just has no clue when it comes to what I like. I'm flying to Japan now. Daddy says he wants me to see more of the world, but I know he's just bringing me because he couldn't find anyone to watch me. I'm 10 years old, I don't need babysitting. Oh well, at least it's something different. House is so boring with Grams gone and Daddy always sitting around reading. I don't know much about Japan, but I hope I can meet a samurai when I go there. That would be so cool. Airplanes are so boring. A drawing made by Bella with colour markers. Building in the picture bears an amazing resemblance to the Irazu Valley Church, complete with a mana cross at the top. Help is written in the upper right corner of the page in large letters. And a drawing made by Bella with colour markers. The strange and random collection of buildings above a river of red water is unsettling. The spider in the upper left, part of the diary's design, looks almost as if it has come from the sky to attack the place. Which is, cool because Kaiko is this insect god, so the spider, at least there's a tangential connection there. But you can see what I mean about the level of detail that's actually been applied to this game, like the amount of extra material that they went through, the effort of making, so that people who were invested enough in the story and its themes and its presentation could sort of pore over these. Because I imagine, it would have taken a little while at least to sort of make these appear the way they wanted to, and sort of reproduce such things, and take these nice photographs to sort of set the stage for each archive item. Like we have, stuff like this. They didn't have to go through the effort to actually make physical copies of these things, but they did. So we've got his faculty ID, which we don't really find out that much about him in the game. There's no time during the game for any sort of character building or development, which you might say is a problem. But I feel like you'll find most of that detail actually exists inside the archive here, which I think in the case of the Siren series works really well just because of the level of detail that they put into the archive and how encouraged it actually is to engage with this material, to understand what's going on. I feel like a lot of the time game writing sort of does dump you into the world and then just dump a lot of information on top of you, and that's delivered by the characters, right? And sometimes that can be really good, but sometimes, a lot of the time, people who are developing games, by no fault of their own, don't know how to deliver writing in an effective way because, you know, they've already got a lot to worry about. They've got coding, art design, sound, you know, game design, all these other things. Writing often falls by the wayside, and games will often upfront state things. There'll be sort of no tension in a scene or anything like that. But here, what Forbidden Siren has done is offload a lot of the sort of expository stuff, a lot of the character building stuff, and they've put that into the archive. And I understand some people don't like that. I don't know if a lot of people value this approach. I think a lot of people sort of reach the end and are like hugely confused. They're like, what the heck is going on? But the game is giving you these archive items as a reward for playing through the game. So the expectation from the developer is that you go and read these archive items and engage with them. And then you just get more detail about the characters and sort of why they make the decisions they do. So you can see here, attached to the faculty ID item is this pamphlet that Sam made for a course he was planning to teach. Cancelled has been stamped on it in big red letters. Sam Munro presents Sacrificing the Past, a cultural anthropology seminar. Seats are still available. Please hurry to avoid missing the chance. He's Matheson College Department of Anthropology's newest professor, previously served as a distinguished lecturer at Pine Grove Community College. He is an expert in the field of comparative religion and widely respected by his peers. So then that sets up, then you're like, oh, okay, that's why he is come here in the first place. That's why he's the one doing this TV show. That's why he's the one who, in the second half of the game, is able to decipher sort of these religious texts and make sense of them in these tiny little cutscene snippets. And yeah, the sacrificing the past thing being cancelled is also like symbolically resonant, because he's unwilling to sort of let the past be the past. He wants, at the end of the game, his daughter to live forever in some sense. And then yeah, we have Amana's diary. Daily journal faithfully kept by Amana. A scrap of Japanese fabric is delicately wrapped around the book's cover. So she arrives she sort of gains consciousness as Amana in 1976. So why can't I remember anything? Who am I? No matter how hard I try, I just can't recall my former life. I'm going to keep writing this journal to make sure I can at least hold on to the memories I have now. July 30th, 1976. Wonder where this village's strange religion comes from. Their god is so completely different from the one I believe in. I often find myself wondering what the villagers are thinking. Sometimes they terrify me, but they did take me in, and I know deep down that they're good people. July 31st. Yesterday they told me about an ancient village legend. Now I understand why they've been taking such good care of me. They must think I'm the girl with the hair of the sun from the legend. August 1st. Villagers said that they'll hold the sacred ceremony tomorrow. They also mentioned Miyako, but how is she involved? They'll be coming for me tomorrow night. I have a very bad feeling about this, and I'm scared. August 2nd, 1976. Back of my brooch fell off when I dropped it. Never noticed it before, but on the back there's a strange... And then it sort of trails off there. And we can look at the brooch, can't we? But I think that's meant to be... Where's the brooch? Here. 6 strange symbols are engraved on the back of the brooch, and that's the kind of thing that I really like. Is that actually, well, all of a sudden you can go and you can look at the stuff and you can say, oh, okay, there is actually something strange on the back of this brooch. It's not just like a throwaway line or something that you're just left to wonder about. You can flip that over, you can see it, and it's that tangibility, I think, that gives the Siren games their ongoing power. I think the ability for the player to hold on to what they see and to engage with that on really what feels like quite a personal level. Like, you can imagine, because the objects are actually physical and do exist, like the photography and such, you can imagine picking them up and sort of turning them over in your hands and actually looking at them. And it's this intersection of reality, I think, as I talked about last time, that's so fascinating to me, is the use of real world objects to reinforce the reality of the game world. So we have actual objects here that are establishing more context about what's going on in the game, about these characters. It makes them feel more real, even just on a subconscious level. So, we didn't need this necessarily. Like, why do we have a driver's, Sego Saigo's driver's license? Because it adds detail, it adds believability to this world. And that's what I talked about a lot in my Forbidden Siren 2 video, I think, as well, is like, how are they actually getting us to grapple with and engage with the world. And the archive is, I think, one of the Siren series' sort of biggest masterstrokes. I think it's just genius. More games should do this kind of thing. Honestly, like, that's what I'm planning to do. I've got this huge design document and so many like artifacts like this I have already been written, and I'd love to like make some more like robust ones as well, so to make them look aged. These kinds of things, that's what I'm invested in, is like the sense of tangibility, the sense of like earthiness, and that's what draws me back to these games like over and over again, is this sort of haunted feeling that these games could be real, that there's something tangible about them. You can see that there's still a lot of archive items I haven't unlocked, obviously, because I did sort of speed through the game, as you saw in certain places, and some of them require a lot of setup, like chapter to chapter setup. You have to get certain items, and I can't always remember how to do that off the top of my head. But we might as well have a look at a few more for the next 10-15 minutes or so, or just however long it takes me. So yeah, we've got the message from Sam that led Howard to the village in the first place. Print out of an email. The paper is soaked in red water and part of it has been torn off. Message body. It's been forever, Howard. Waited a long time for this moment when I could talk to you again. Every little tick and every little tock of the clock lasts an eternity when waiting for destiny. However, today I can finally fulfill that destiny because I found your blog. Blogs are in, and hwbiker.blogparadise.com is online. This summer you'll hop on your bike and ride off to your own destiny in the lost town of Hanuda. I guarantee this will be the summer to end all summers. What you're about to experience is reserved especially for you. You've been chosen by the fates, Howard. Can't you hear them? You must heed their call. Are you feeling a little scared? Maybe you should be. But I know you'll come. Your damsel in distress awaits. Sincerely, Sam Monroe. P.S. Congrats on the bike license. And it's not just the fact that the letter exists for me, right? Like, that's cool. And the website also existed at one point. You can still visit that on Internet Archive. It's not just the fact that they wrote this letter. It's the fact that they printed it off, they ripped it, they put dirt on it, they stained it with red liquid, soaked in the red water, and they took a photograph of it. And that's the difference for me. That's the difference. That's what makes this game magic, is this presentation. It's not just, a text file that the developers wrote. It's a letter that could actually be found in Hanuda. It sort of feels like. So then we've got Sam Monroe's journal. I must focus. My memories and thoughts are all starting to blur together and fade to black. This may be my last opportunity to set them down in writing before the darkness swallows them entirely. After plummeting for both an instant and eternity, I finally landed in the true Hanuda village of 1976. In this reality, Hanuda was buried by a catastrophic landslide. If the Hanuda of the past was buried under a mountain of dirt, what was the village I was in before falling into the void? Was the ceremony that night the cause of all this? Was it something unique to the location? Or was it the power of some ancient, angry god? I don't know, and in the end, it doesn't matter. Whatever the cause, the result is that space-time around Hanuda is highly unstable. 1976 and 2007 somehow merged, and that kid from my time, Howard, ended up interrupting a sacrificial ceremony that was supposed to occur in the past. The space-time continuum was disrupted, and the segment of it we existed in was torn clean from the timeline. Now, like a broken record, time will forever skip to the same beat in an endless loop, and we will be forced to relive those events again and again. However, it's unfair to draw the conclusion that Howard was the cause of it all. After all, Bella was the true cause, my own daughter. She was the one who brought forth the call of that terrible siren into our world. She fell into the abyss and, like myself, was rejected by space-time much the way an immune system rejects an invader it doesn't recognize. In her case, she landed in a Hanuda much earlier in the past. She is the key to the siren's call. Her actions brought forth that horrible curse, and in return received immortality. She transformed from my innocent little girl into the divine woman from village legend, Amana. 31 summers have come and gone. The summer of August 2007 is once again approaching, and with it that fateful night. At this moment, Howard knows nothing of Hanuda, and the other me is teaching in America, blissfully ignorant of what is about to occur. The time to set the chain of events into motion is close at hand. Young Howard is about to receive a very important invitation. Howard will visit Hanuda, the sacrificial ceremony will be interrupted, and the siren will beckon for us. The beginning and the end are fused together. The laws of causality are broken, and time marches around in an eternal circle. No, everything is going out of focus again. Memories of who I am and who I was are all running together like paint spilled on the frail canvas of my mind. What was I supposed to do again? I can't lose focus. I must focus. Bella, yes, everything must be repeated so that Bella can live forever. And I mean, that sort of explains the plot, right? If you had any questions, that's like most of it there in alternate Sam Monroe's ramblings. So he fell through time, and so did Bella, but they both ended up in different places and have different roles to fulfill so that Ouroboros can continue. And we also have this little newspaper clipping attached. Unidentified foreign national found dead. On August 1st at 3:30 p.m., a woman taking a walk in Gakuin Park in Center City happened upon a man lying on the ground. She noticed something was wrong and quickly notified the police. Center police officers hurried to the scene and called an ambulance when they noticed the adult foreign male was confused and incoherent. He was soon taken to a nearby hospital, but was pronounced dead the same day at 6:33 p.m. The unidentified male was in his 50s to 70s, 6 feet tall, and thin with grey hair. He was found wearing a plaid shirt and beige pants. The only other item in his possession was a broken pair of glasses engraved with the letters SM. There are no obvious signs of physical trauma, and the police are currently investigating his identity and cause of his death. So yeah, alternate Sam Monroe dies just as the events of the game begin. But again, like, why go through the effort to have someone scribble this out on a diary and then photograph it, sitting amongst some garbage or something? It just adds that feeling of believability, of tangibility. I think it's very clever. We can have a look. Yeah, let's have a look at some of the earlier ones. TV episode proposal. Paranormal TV channel 3333. Standard program proposal form. Title of program, Encounters. Episode, Hanuda Lost, Tale of Human Sacrifice. Producers, John Titor. Director, Sol Jackson. Camera operator, Sol Jackson. Melissa is the other crew. Documentary. Males from their 20s to 30s is the target audience. Show description, Encounters investigates the strange and the supernatural phenomena that inhabit our world. 28 minutes, $20,000. Staff profile addendum. There's a Melissa. She's got a master's in journalism. And yeah, you can see relevant work history. Witherstone College newspaper reporter. Greybelt Country Times reporter, and the anchor for Fantastic Pets. A native of Greybelt County, Melissa has over 15 years of print and broadcast news experience. In addition to an MA in journalism from the prestigious Witherstone College, she is professional and committed to seeking out the truth. While working as a reporter for the county newspaper, she covered a range of high-profile assignments, including the infamous Greybelt Butcher case. Melissa maintains pride in her work, but is not afraid to cover any assignment, great or small, as proven by her 4 years as the TV host for Fantastic Pets, a local program covering touching stories about pets and their owners. Sort of a far cry from what ended up happening. We've got this holy scroll, the gift. The scene painted on the scroll represents the tale of when Kaiko, the object of mana worship, offered up his own body to save the lives of the starving villagers. It is forbidden to tread upon the sacred ground where this holy act is said to have taken place. So this is where Kaiko is eaten by, as we can see there in the inscription, Bella, who then becomes Amana. So the game is like foreshadowing this throughout. Yuki Kobe's planner. Yuki was the nurse that Saiga killed himself over in sort of about halfway through the game. She was sacrificed and subsequently became a Shibito. Thursday, July 29th. Something's been troubling the doctor lately. He's never been much for conversation, but he looks exhausted now. I've noticed him wander off without saying a word, and I'm worried sick about him. Friday, July 30th. Dr. Saiga left without saying goodbye again today. I want to find out where he's going, but I just can't work up the courage to ask. I thought we knew each other, but maybe I don't know him as well as I thought. Doctor, where are you? Saturday, July 31st. Last night I ended up following Dr. Saiga. I feel like such a fool. He was going to the old ward, probably to do some research. Must have some personal project he's working on and just doesn't want to be disturbed. Here I am worrying about him when he's trying to focus on carrying out his experiments. Still, why does he have to be so secretive about it? Sunday, August 1st. I'm on the day shift tomorrow. Maybe after work I can head over to the old ward. I'll surprise Dr. Saiga with a homemade lunch. The doctor's adopted mother, the wife of the old hospital director, never seemed like the kind of woman who would fix lunch for him back when he was a child. I'm the only one who understands him, so I'm the only one he can count on to lift his spirits. Which again explains the deep sorrow that he feels on seeing her as a Shibito and why he ends up killing himself in the first loop that we see. What should we end with, since I might take a slight break. I might be back later today is the plan, but I do need to rest my voice, just because happens to me every time. I'm like, all right guys, I'm back, and then I immediately get sick and my voice it's like, no, you're not back. What's the last one we can look at? We can have a look at the voice recorder. Stores several audio files that shed light on Sam's actions after getting separated from Sol, as well as some of his ideas behind the events taking place in the village. Can let this play.
I never thought being clumsy would pay off. Ironically, thanks to my untimely fall from the cliff, I managed to escape from those things. I hope Sol is alright. But I can't think about that now. I need to find Bella. I heard her calling for help, but where could she be? What is this place in Bella's picture? Could it really be somewhere in this town? What relation does it have to those monsters? It looks like a nest, but if they're building a nest, does that imply that they have a type of hive intelligence like bees or ants? Why would they need a nest, and what could they be hiding in there? I've studied folklore and mythology my whole life, but never in my wildest dreams did I ever imagine any of it to be real. The events recorded in this holy book mirror our current situation so accurately that I'm beginning to doubt my own beliefs. If all of these predictions are to come true, I must stop it.
Cool, so yeah, he attempts to stop it, as we saw, but he arrives too late, and then instead fulfills everything just as planned. And then yeah, I think this one is just the song, and I hadn't noticed that before, but you can actually save it to your hard drive in case you want to play it yourself on the regular, that final song. But yeah, that's where I'll leave Blood Curse for now, I think. Just while everything is fresh in my brain, I'm going to run away and scribble some stuff down, put the finishing touches on the script, and then record some extra sections that have sort of come up through this playthrough. But I do hope everyone enjoyed this sort of spontaneous playthrough. I definitely wasn't planning to do it 2 weeks ago, but you know, here we are. Thank you. It's great to have you here, and I hope you enjoyed watching the last one first, and now you can go back and get some more context from the previous ones. It'll be an Ouroboros of its own, right? Some kind of you're playing with temporality, just like the series does, which is cool. I think you're doing it the right way, actually. Yeah. I like that a lot. All right. Thanks everyone. Have a good rest of your day. I might be back later. If not, I'll probably be back tomorrow, and I will catch you all later. Thank you.